they want to use that to recruit more fighters to their cause by turning it into a religious conflict. We know that Donald Trump's comments have been used online for recruitment of terrorists, that the kinds of rhetoric and language that Mr. Trump has used is giving aid and comfort to our adversaries.
Oh, my. All right, joining us now is Gavin McInnes, host of The Gavin McInnes Show, panel member on Fox News Channel's Red Eye, and author of Death of Cool. There it is on your TV screen. And now here he is, interestingly enough, on your TV screen. Hello, Gavin.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Wait a minute. Wait, what happened to the beard?
Oh, I did a movie based on Death of Cool, and I had to play a teenage punk rocker, so I was forced to shave my beard and reveal to the world that I have no chin.
You know, when you do that, you know, you look a little like Griff Jenkins.
I look like Beaker from The Muppet Show.
I was trying to be kind. Okay, so you hear Hillary say that Trump is aiding and abetting the enemy.
Trump said that we should be dubious of Muslims coming into this country. He was talking about...
Uh-oh, you insulted somebody. Yeah, go ahead.
He was talking about Muslims going back and forth to, say, Afghanistan, for example. Now, this guy was going back and forth to Afghanistan. That's precisely what Trump predicted. In fact, this guy got radicalized going back and forth. So exactly what Trump predicted came true, and Hillary's takeaway is what Trump says is bad for America.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. All right. I know that you're really ticked off about the way this has all been dealt with here and the reaction everywhere else. I want to put up for you an op-ed written by three mayors: Mayor of New York City, Mayor of London, Mayor of Paris. Today, New York Times. Here it is. And I'll get to the good part here. They talk about the explosive devices, keeping people safe, et cetera, et cetera. But it is wrong to characterize immigrant and refugee communities as radical and dangerous. In our experience, militant violence is vanishingly rare. And then it goes on to say, in the next one, therefore we must continue to pursue an inclusive approach to resettlement in order to combat the growing tide of xenophobic language around the globe. How do you react to that trash?
The truth is xenophobic. And by the way, Sadiq Khan threw the first baseball there at the Mets game on Sunday night. This is 24 hours after the bomb. I heard about the bombing when I was at the Mets game on Saturday night. We're sitting there singing the Star-Spangled Banner, paying tribute to a war vet. Boom, bombs go off. And then the next night, we have Sadiq Khan. This is a guy, by the way, who has made it very clear that immigrants should not assimilate. He said, social integration doesn't work. That's Sadiq Khan. And what these people like DeBlasio don't get is, yes, not all Muslims are pro-terrorism, obviously. But a good 25% think suicide bombing is sometimes or often justified. We're up to about 300 million people. That's a lot of bad apples spoiling the whole bunch. So what I suggest we do in cases like this is not just deport terrorists like the Somalian in Minnesota, like the Palestinian who knifed a cop on the same weekend, and like this guy with the 10 bombs. We deport the entire family. And you know what happens when we do that? All these moderates who are enabling this with their tolerance start going, hey, why are you going back and forth to Afghanistan? You're not screwing up my visa, are you?
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. It's crazy, and it's getting sicker by the moment. Let me ask you something. Hillary went. Was it appropriate for Hillary to go on Jimmy Fallon's show last night? You know, the first business day after a weekend of terror and bombings right there in New York, right here in New York.
She's just so clueless, isn't she? She probably scheduled that after she saw Trump do well when someone tussled his hair, when Fallon tussled his hair, and she goes, uh-oh. She's constantly playing catch-up with Trump, and Trump is constantly 4 steps ahead. So she did that, and just like every move she makes, it ends up being worse for her than if she hadn't done anything. She is campaigning backwards here, and Trump is campaigning forwards. It's like watching Gaspar, what's his name, the chess champion, play with a toddler.
Wait a minute, Gary Kasparov, who's a frequent guest on this show.
Gary Kasparov, with his IQ of whatever it is, 185, is going up against Hillary's 100 IQ, and it's not pretty.
All right, very quickly, Donald Trump Jr. Tweeted out, if we could put up here the 148, I'll just summarize it. A bunch of Skittles, said this is a Syrian refugee problem. If I told you that 2 or 3 of these would kill you, would you eat them? Appropriate?
Yes. It was offensive, it was rude, it was xenophobic, and it was totally and utterly true. It's called a hate fact. And what he's doing is explaining mathematics to these liberals who don't get that just because you found anecdotal evidence doesn't mean that a general pattern isn't true. The general pattern is a disproportionate number of Muslims are enabling terrorism.
Gavin, on that note, got to end it. Gavin McInnes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, sir.